guys, Ben here from Night Fate. We're here with Wilson, or Dragowil, as some of you guys know from Omnidex. Today he's here with us, going to do a deck breakdown.
Yeah, so pretty much came back from Melbourne last week,
Yep.
the last Ascent before the new season. We just a brief recap on there. I think we have like quite a strong QE showings there. Like I think 26 of us went over there.
Yeah.
And 9 of us actually make top 32.
I see a lot of Kiwis are actually top in the world at the moment. You know, with even into the end of the season.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
And obviously we know Sean and Jesse, they both top 8. And Sean got the second place spirit, right?
Yeah, it's such a beautiful card.
Place.
Yeah,
which he got graded already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a very brief recap, and then I thought, like, since I'm back in New Zealand and just talking with Night Fate, maybe we just do a final deck profile before the new season starts. Yeah.
Well, you're going to be our first of our mini-series of player highlights, where we're going to do deck breakdowns. So it'll be pretty interesting and really good to have you as the first person.
All right, that sounds good.
Super excited.
So I didn't make top 8, but I did top 32. So we got the mat here, the prize card as well, the invite card, right, for Nets. Those are just other spirit. So obviously I got the wind one at U-Trade earlier this year.
Yep.
And that's just the Auckland one, which Yuan won, which is the second ever Ascent for GA.
Yeah, teammate Killen has the exact one.
Just
play with it, man. Like, get that flex in.
So it's quite nice. Like, we get quite a lot of spirit just within New Zealand as well. Not just these 3, we got quite a few others as well from Ascent and so forth. What else should I say? So obviously with Melbourne Ascent, for people who know me, knows I've been playing Win Arizona all season. So I won free backup charger with it. Obviously I top 8 the U-Trade as well. Got the Gwendolyn as well. And then when we head to the last Ascent of the season, I was kind of want to play something different. And I don't know what to play, so I was just weighing my options, and I think a week before the event I was like, let's try something that I like. But I haven't played for competitive events for ages. So if people know, or even if you don't know, I was playing Merlin for Ascent Melbourne, which is maybe a strange meta call.
I think, it came to a lot of surprise with the boys here in Night Fate that you were actually running Merlin. We thought, he's going to do the Windari, and then it came out in Tickliss, it's like, it's playing Merlin, like,
So basically Merlin is the deck I played at Nationals and Worlds last year. Surprisingly, the last time I played Merlin at regionals or higher tier events is actually all the way back in May for Worlds last year.
Oh wow!
I haven't played Merlin since then. I was playing Tristan and then Arizona after that. But
we do have the likes of Glee Boy showing that Merlin is still a competitive deck if you know how to play Merlin.
So I've been on a few trips with Glenn, to U-Trade, to some of the regionals together. And every time I see him play Merlin, I just miss playing Merlin myself. And we both make it to Worlds with Merlin together. So I thought it would be cool to just play Merlin. Not much expectation. I think I told you guys even before I fly, I don't really have much expectation. I just want to play something I like, play for fun, and see what's going on. So that's the deck I pick up. Make it all the way to top 32. So can't be too unhappy about that.
No, I think that's one thing I definitely believe in is play something you enjoy and that you love.
And one of the main thing about our deck leading into this is me and Glenn, world champion Glenn. We played the exact same list card for card. So all the 60 card main deck, the 15 card side deck, all the regalias, the material deck, everything is the same for this event. So it was pretty cool to that. I think we're still doing changes one day before the event. So I literally went into the event with no playtesting.
Oh wow.
So I think I did some playtest with Glenn the day before the event, but he was playing Merlin and I was playing other decks with him. We want to test against Win Arizona, we want to test against Water Allies. And even with Iceman Slam gone, we still think Mill decks are still very strong. So those are the 3 main decks we are kind of respecting as well. And then we kind of heard some rumors about Luxon coming back. So we kind of try to put cards together that can combat all those strategies. And
try to make a one for all deck pretty much.
The thing I like about Merlin in general is it have different ways to win games. You can do it through attacking. You can do it through fireball, like those burn damage or
have
things
different
like that.
different kill cons.
And for people defending, they don't know what to defend. Like, do they bring out Safeguard or do they bring out Terraframe? Like, if they bring out Terraframe, they could lose to Fireball. If they bring out Safeguard, they should just lose to Sudden Steel Pendragon. So, so that's why I like the versatility, and we know in terms of influence control, it's very strong for Merlin as well.
Yeah, because I remember Ascent Auckland, not Ascent Auckland, the last regionals in Auckland. I went into playing Merlin, and it's like every time I bring out something, you just like fireball it, you know? Because we've had matches where I'm like, get ally heavy, and then it's won me the game.
Yeah.
So now you're just like, no, you can't have any allies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you still came through with the attack damage.
Yeah.
To just clean up and just using the spells to clear my field, which was really smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of the list, which is quite different to the ones that Glenn has been using in previous Ascent as well. Yeah. We actually did quite a lot of changes as well to compare the meta as well that we predicted. Shall we just go straight into it? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe talk about some of my matchup as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bit scary for me. I think after 3 rounds, I was 1 win, 2 loss.
Yeah.
And then I think I was just messaging back home to the local boys. I was like, oh, I think this is it. Like, I was like, oh, maybe I should just play Winari. I shouldn't even play Merlin in the first place. And then I win 5 matches in a row to make it 6-2 and then make day 2. So it was tense, like, because every match I can't draw. I can't even have a draw. It has to be just.
Yeah, it's someone that was supporting from the outside. It was we're like, go Wilson, and then at the start it was just getting tanked, and it's like, oh, what's happening? And then all of a sudden you're like, I made day 2, boys. And it's like, where did that come from? Yeah. It was really well done.
Yeah, so it was definitely lots of stress on that day 1 from round 4 almost all the way to round 8, like those five matches, like. One mistake and you're pretty much out of it. But it was also good to have the support from the boys back home, you guys, also all the Kiwis on the spot, and even some of my Australian friends, like they were just kind of saying, "Oh, you're not out until you got your 3rd loss or the draw, right? Like as long as you keep winning,
it's not done till it's done."
Yeah, so so that was pretty good. That's why we even have this video, right? Like, I don't think you want to do a deck profile of someone who scrub out.
Maybe if we'd done your Windari,
yeah.
That's always good having you here, you know?
So, I'll go straight into the Meteor deck first to see. There's no surprise on the champion. The Fire Spirit. Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah. I think we discussed about 2 Spirit with the Fragmented as well. So that's the one that Glenn has been using for Utrecht that he finds success. If he goes 2nd, he plays the Fragmented so he doesn't break on Crust and stuff like that. But ultimately, I think I will show you the one last slot that we used. That's why we used that over the Spirit. We still go with Lorraine. We still think it's better than Calming. Just because of the extra materialization of the sword, so you can pretty much play your Pendragon 1 turn earlier. And I think that's huge. Doing the big heal of like 10, 12, whatever is great, but it doesn't have that aggressive power or the fast pace.
Well, no, if someone negates that big heal, then you're back at square one, sort of thing.
Yeah, and the weapon is also relevant because you may want to clear allies just as early as turn 1. So we still play Lorraine. Obviously Merlin deck, so we play Merlin 2 and 3. There's no surprise here in that. At one point, we were also thinking playing 2 level 1s with Calming and Lorraine. Just because we hate losing to Nia. But then we realized there's no space and it's not worth it. Like if you have to go level 1, you just go level 1. Sometimes Nia is not that much of a big problem because you have cards that can take out Nia, so you can kind of store 1 turn, which I'll go through in a second. But that's the champions we run.
You have a nice collection of CSRs and CUR.
And the Merlin B as well, which is quite hard to find. But the CUR. I think this one was actually pulled in Wellington as well, from all the way from Kickstarter.
Oh wow!
I think it was Steve from Shushin Night back then. Yeah. And then the rest of the card is Crust, so we rank some Crust cards as well, right? The Majestic Spirit.
As you can tell, he's used to it.
I'm used to it the other way around, but that's fine. Yeah. The Majestic Spirit. To be honest, I haven't even played this once in the entire tournament. And obviously the whole meta will change now, so it's not relevant. But I think if I go into the STEM event again, this will be Backup Charger. I think in this meta with so many assassins and in-cap as well, you can't really risk playing your whole hand for this one card.
Not only that, the Senjus are now on par with this too, so like everyone has their own version of a Majestic Spirit.
So I think it's still a really strong card, but it just never come up for me. And I think there's a few times I miss backup charger for the extra influence as well. Sometimes if you kind of just store on Merlin 2 a little bit, but you use your GCL, you literally have nothing to materialize in your deck, so that backup charger would have been nice over this. But yeah, either way, like you can't really win cross without Majestic Spirit. It's so iconic. You bring it out, you win, kind of thing. Yeah.
It is very hard to sort of get around.
Yeah. And obviously Prismatic Age. This is the Prismatic build. Which is we go back and forth between Prismatic or Empower build a lot. And ultimately we think for this event it's better for the Prismatic build. Even though the meta is more wide open with Icebound Slam ban or Baby Great ban, but I think wind and water still take up quite a big chunk of the meta.
Yes.
And yeah, we don't even run any wind or water card in the deck, and that just gives you the extra bonus a lot. The extra damage also helps with the free attack and also the burn free from the fire as well. So even that alone is justified playing it.
Well, with being quite water and wind heavy, you do have the advantage of obviously the water drawing a card from the prismatic and then ripping your opponent's cards when it's wind. So it's strong value to have that.
And I think that's half the material deck at the moment for champions and those two. That's 6. So the other last slot is, I think the classic. We play the 2 swords, sort of seeking. Usually the one you go for with Lorraine for 1. Drumblade is a no-brainer in this deck because you can loop it so much. You can
You're getting a 3 draw.
You draw 1. You can put it back with either Ascension or Pendragon, and then you just bring it out again to draw. Especially you run so many floating in this deck as well. So Soul of Seeking is probably the most iconic sword since the beginning, and that's why I think the promo, right? Day 2 promo for National. So hopefully we will all all get one. We'll all get one. We actually play one more sword in this deck, which most people don't these days, and that's kind of a last minute addition is Bulwark Sword. So I think that's caught lots of people by surprise when we bring it out. It's a strategy we kind of tried maybe 10 months ago, and then because of the meta shifting at that time, it kind of dropped from Merlin for many months now. But because with the Icebound Slam ban, even though we think Watermill will be very strong, but Watermill will focus more on the ally strategy, and also Water Allies is also as popular as well. And literally to combat those decks, Boros was really good. It got 2 attack instead of 1, so that's very relevant. And sometimes just putting 2 cards in your memory helps you go to level 2 if you have an awkward hand as well. So it serves multi-purpose. And that's where it's become very versatile. Like if they near Norrin level 1, for example, you can bring out Boros Sword or Sword of Seeking first, kill the near. Next time you level up, you still have a second sword to materialize with Lorraine level 1.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Yeah, I think this is probably like the most, I wouldn't say surprise, but most unique card we kind of.
It's definitely not a card I thought I'd see unique.
No. Yeah, but it is really strong. Like I think both me and Glenn, we bring out this more than Sword of Seeking throughout the weekend.
Oh wow, yeah.
So that's the sword package, and then the last 3 cards. There's so many cards here because those are the champions. So. The defensive cards, the only 2 cards we run is Safeguard and Terraframe. I think those are still the 2 most generic protection cards. And that just give us answer against different decks.
They both have such good value in defenses too.
But with how this deck you can keep looping Drumblade or Prismatic Age and stuff, or even Sword of Seeking. Some games you don't even play either of this because you just keep looping Drumblade each turn. But they still serve its purpose and they will still get the job done if you need them to. Final card, nothing to say. GCR. We play it. There's still the Divine Relic of choice. You never go wrong with draw 1.
Yeah, it's even like when you watch some of the meters, it goes, like they're like, Grail, and then by the end of the season, everyone is back on GCR.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's literally we play 4 swords in this deck. Lots of swords, but that's definitely worth it. Oh, this is so thick. Okay.
Yeah. I take it they're all double sleeved.
Yeah, they're all double sleeved. So for the main deck, the first 4 cards should be no surprises. 4 DGs.
Yep.
You can't run level 3 decks without it. Especially this deck, you want to turbo. Technically, you DG more to 2 more than level 3 in this deck, just because when you're level 2, especially in this meta, you can stabilize the game a lot. You can keep eating their floating memory if you're playing a mill deck, and then you put them in an awkward situation. Even for yourself, you can eat some of your extra flow, and then as you level up to level 3, you can get the draw right away if you're on the even counter on Merlin. That's also why like you still DG to 3 sometimes, but you DG to 2 and then you hard level to 3, then you can get the draw right away. Which if you DG is to wait a turn before you draw. But yeah.
Speaking of eating floating memory, I do have a question. How do you think Merlin would go into that new card that just completely turns off effects in the graveyard?
Yeah, I think that card is not too bad on this deck because Merlin can still float and you still get the level counter on it. You just can't use the float in the grave because they check for floating in your banish, not in your thing. But in saying that, obviously it does stop, but that's also why Reduce to Ash just become even more powerful in this deck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you gotta have something in there to get rid of that.
Yeah. Obviously this is all for last meta. I haven't really think about this meta whether I'm playing Merlin or not. Obviously we have not just this coming meta for regionals, it's mainly for the national season as well, which we're all preparing for.
Yeah.
But I will look more into it. But yeah, but that card is strong, but it doesn't stop Merlin level 2 effect. That's funny enough. So that's you can still.
It's actually quite handy to know. Yeah.
We got the 1 Blanche.
1 Blanche. It is a very nice Blanche. Yeah.
1 Blanche. We play 1 Blanche and 1 Resolute Stand. So it could be 2 Resolute Stand and you slide 2 Blanche.
Yeah.
Or the other way around, right? But we just feel like having that versatility, get one that you don't randomly lose to a deck just because you have no answer to.
Yeah.
So this is not something I would usually put in my deck like this, but shout out to Glenn. Like he has been building his deck like this all this time, and it has been working for him as well, right? So I decided I would try it as well. And
he is the
he is probably the Merlin
player.
Yeah. So we play so we do 1 of each, and then we side more copies in when we go to the side deck. We'll go through that, but yeah, both are strong, and if you draw it, you draw it. If you don't draw it, you don't draw it. Like sometimes you don't need them to win your games.
Yeah.
It's just a safety net if you need it. Yeah. Not too much to say about those. Put the Blanche on top of it, nicer.
Yeah, nicer, yeah.
For some intercept and taunt, which we still think is quite important, we play 4 Shieldmate. I think it's pretty standard for Merlin, and we play 2 Library Witch as well.
Really nice art on your Library Witch.
From the kids. It took me quite a while to get them as well. So once I finished the playset, I was pretty happy to get a playset of this. For the longest time, we've been playing 3 Library Witch, which we really like as well. But you'll probably notice when I talk about the Bowa Sword and stuff, we literally want more allies with 1 attack. Because most allies deck is 3 health, right? So you just Bowa Sword plus a 1 attack will just kill off any allies. So we just put Library Witch back to 2. But that's still, I think that's still really good. Like you have like
it's huge defenses for early game and stuff.
Yeah, so. two intercept with 4 taunts, so you still have 6 good defense if you need to kind of hold your ground for a bit just to stall out another turn. And they both get additional effect, right? You draw back a card, you get a floating in the grave. So like either way, you get value, and it's all about surviving the early game, get to the Merlin level 3, and you can just control from there. In terms of floating, we run lots of floating in this deck. The next one, which we don't usually run in 3, but now we go back to 3, is the
Hasty
Honorable Vanguard.
Oh, Honorable Vanguard.
That's just a generic floating with the 1 attack.
Yeah.
So literally that's replace one of the Library Witch, just because we want
some
attack power. And then the final generic floating we run is the Fast Cure. I think it's still the best one.
Stunning Fast Cures, by the way.
I sold my CPR, so just have to use the PR, but it's still very nice. The less invites from last year. So that's the 10 generic floating we run. if you don't have the creative shock to discard or hasty to discard, fast square can just it's fast.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you get the heal 4, it's just a bonus.
So many times this has actually saved me from dying, and then next thing
Yeah.
I've been able to come back and then win the game
Yeah.
because they've gone all hands down, try to get killed,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
two down faster, like
Yeah.
recollect now attack you. You're dead.
Yeah. But in saying that, that's not all the floating we run. So there's
Yeah.
10 floatings here. We run 7 more in this deck, so almost 1/3 of our deck is floating.
Yeah.
And there we go to some of the class bonus one. I think this is also a last edition we kind of add in literally the day before the event. The free Savage Slash.
Oh wow. Yeah.
They are literally just an attack card with floating memory with
Yeah.
2 attack. So even as a spirit, you can use it. And that and sort of seeking just kill off any free health
Yeah.
allies. So it's quite good to control in the early game state, and in late game it can still swing for damage, especially if you're Merlin on an even counter.
Yeah.
Right? It can still swing for a lot of damage, or you just discard it for a floating. Main thing to remember is this is only a warrior class bonus,
Yep.
so it only works on your level 1 and level 3.
Yeah.
And usually when you play this, you use it to level up to Merlin level 2, or you bring out Drawn Blade before Merlin level 2.
Yeah.
So there's some lines where I bring out Drawn Blade first, and then when I go to Merlin level 2, then I bring out GC out after. Because once you do it the other way around, it doesn't work.
So just end up with dead float for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a really good floating once because you always go to Lorraine level 1 first,
Yeah.
and then you swing with this. You can see like with the bow sword with all the 1-drops ally, it's just really good.
Good value.
Good value and good allies control. Like you can see how we build this deck to beat allies.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing worse than an ally deck that just swarms the
No.
field, and you're like, I can only deal with like some of that stuff.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest deck for this is auto allies.
Yep.
So that's why we want to make sure we don't just, I wouldn't say auto lose, but we don't want a really hard time. And once you 1-for-1 trade is always good in Merlin, and
Yes.
if you can do the 1-for-1 trade, it's really hard for them to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 3, and then the final 4 is fire floating. We can play Merlin without the swordsman here, Flame Rune. It's both warrior and mage. So as long as you're left from level 1 onwards, the floating memory just there.
Yeah.
It's a two attack, 2 health. The 2 health is not too relevant, but it's a floating, like it's literally an ally, right?
Yeah.
Like you're literally playing a two attack allies on its own. Nothing
Having
much
it
to
both
say.
being a
Yeah.
mage and a warrior though for that class bonus on the
Yeah.
floating memory, that is so good.
It's really good,
Yeah.
and the fire is also really good. Like towards the mid game, it's probably the discard of choice for creative shock, and then you
Yeah.
burn them for 2 extra damage just because of the fire.
Yeah.
Once you get to level 2 Merlin, like you just get the class bonus of the creative shock as well. And speaking about more one attacks, we have a playset of hasty as well.
Yeah.
Before when we are not doing the bow of sword and stuff, I think we cut hasty to 3. And then, but with the bow of sword and control, we want as many
One cost allies.
ally. That's why we got the honorable vanguard as well.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so we go for full playset. This card is insane value.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you
Discard a
don't,
card, draw a card. It's like
discard a card, draw a
feeding
card.
yourself floating memory.
Yeah. And even if you don't have floating, discarding a cross is also really good because with cross side you can just start looping
Bring it back. Yeah.
looping that back the value. And even if you got nothing, even just cycling 1 card is good. Like you get them with a card you don't need early on, and then you go for a card that you need. So that's literally all the allies we run. That's not cross. And I think I jumped a little bit to the fire section, but we'll go back to the long cards.
Yeah,
the last 2
yeah.
card is the Sudden Steel here. It's actually my favorite card in this deck.
Yeah.
It's very underrated. Most games this do more damage than Fireball.
Oh wow.
Just because it's 5 on its own.
Yeah.
It's efficiency, so basically
Cost you next to nothing,
yeah.
if not free.
Yeah, most of the time it's free, and most of the time is for the first turn you only pay 1 for it, because usually when you get to level 3 you're already on level 5.
Counter, yeah.
Even counter level 5, so
Yeah.
you only pay 1 for this, and you're swinging for 7 on its own without a
Yeah.
weapon. If you have Sword of Seeking, then
It's almost like
swinging
a
for
free
8.
icebound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it's get really strong with Prismatic Age.
Yeah.
You're swinging for 10.
Yeah.
To get to 10 with Fireball, you need to be level 9.
Yeah.
And usually the game will be over well before that.
Yeah.
So, this is the card I would put 3 off if I can find space for it.
Yeah.
And as I say, like if I have to go into this tournament again, I think the one card I would cut is probably the Incarnate Majesty.
Yeah.
For one Incarnate Majesty for a third one, just because it helps you close games so out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like people don't see it coming. People were trying to play around your fireball, how they're gonna defend against it, and then you go, oh, sudden steal for 8, sudden steal for 10, and then they're like, what?
Yeah. It's like where did all that come from?
Yeah. So yeah.
Especially when they bring out things like Safeguard, you know, and they're like, oh, he's gonna fireball me now.
Yeah.
And it's like just attack you for, you know, really high numbers.
Yeah. And Fire Merlin is very consistent is because of all the draw powers.
Yeah.
And everyone knows Creative Shock. All fire decks pretty much run Creative Shocks.
That is a stunning Creative Shock.
And this deck is even better because you can actually use the Mage class bonus as well.
Yeah.
This is a Sadi killer.
Yeah.
They need to bounce the Sadi before you even draw 2. Because whatever you discard, they have no window to respond on that one. So you can threaten them to do stuff, and then if they do stuff, they probably like lose their defensive for your turn, because if you play this like on the end phase or even on your recollection step before you draw. So nothing much to say, and it discard you floating, discard you fire, you can do extra damage. And then we got the 4 Cremation as well. This card is probably one of the weaker draw cards now. Especially against water decks, you don't really want to play Cremation, and then if they force bind, then you lose everything.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a good 4 off in the main deck at least. Both me and Glenn side this out a lot. Like we side this out more than anything else in the deck, because we don't want to lose to just a negate or anything.
It is nice to know, like with your deck, when you do have to sideboard those, you know, you have 4 key cards that you know you can sideboard out at any moment, and it does not affect the longevity of your deck.
Yeah. But obviously, going first, it can be really powerful.
Yeah.
You combo this with any of the floating, like Shieldmate or the Vanguard, or even Library Witch.
Library Witch, Library Witch is really good because you draw 3.
Yeah, draw 3, and then you play a Shieldmate after that as well. Like, so that gives you lots of influence.
The SP2 creative cremation rituals would have to be my favorite artwork for the cremation rituals.
Yeah, I really like the artwork. It took me a long time to find the 4th foil. I found it the day before Ascent at the trade night, so it was really good. I was like, literally playing 3 copies and then 1 non-foil. I was like, oh no, that looks
and a complete
so
foil deck, you know, that's like
Or I just played the normal DOA, 3 of this and 3 of this plus 1 DOA.
Yeah.
That kind of looks shit as well.
Yeah.
So really happy to got my playset of foil here. The next 4 cards should be very obvious for Fireball.
4 fireballs. Yeah.
Probably I wouldn't say the best
card way too many times.
Yeah, as a game ender, but as I say, like usually sudden still offer more than this, but it's threatened a lot. Like the amount of time I played this early on the Merlin level to clear off an ally just for full control.
Done it to me, yeah.
Yeah. People don't see it coming. Like I was like, I'm not using this to kill because I'm using my sudden still to kill you anyway. So I'm just gonna you can control the board quite easily with this.
Yeah, well when you use that against me, clear my field and gain control, I was just like, what's going on here? This is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. And you still have so much firepower in your deck to still win without some of your
Well, you
fireballs.
beat me very quickly after clearing my field, so yeah.
Yeah. You can't play without 4 fireballs in this deck, I believe. And just because your Merlin keep gaining level as well, so it just keep getting bigger and bigger each turn. This card is interesting. I play it because the art is nice. New Zealand exclusive. No, just took me a while to get this foil Sparkle Light as well. There's not many floating around. You can see it's quite themed for New Zealand as well with the Sky Tower background and all that stuff. But what I like about this is very versatile to use. In the early game, even before you go to Merlin 2 damage isn't something to look down into. It's Sword of Seeking plus a Sparkle Light kill off a 3-cost ally. And sometimes if they have defensive like Quasi or something like that, or Deflecting Age or whatever, right? Sometimes you attack for 1, they may not use it. They're trying to wait for you to commit to another ally and then stop the second one, and then that's when you punish them with Sparkle Light. When you get to Merlin 2, it's even better because it's doing 3 damage and it kills off anything. unpreventable is also very relevant.
Yeah.
There's times people were like, oh, I prevent the legs free them. I think with Winari, right, they have that latent barriers or something, right, that they prevent. Like, no, you don't prevent, you still take the damage, so you die.
It's like, I'm going to prevent the next level, level plus 1 damage,
But depending on matchup, sometimes I would side 1 or 2 out, depending on certain matchup. Like, it's not necessary, but I still think it's nice inclusion in the main deck.
Yeah.
Especially if we are so focused to clear allies on board, and not just water allies, right? Even mute, like you get rid of the cow, so they can't stop milling 2 cards every turn.
Yeah.
It's quite good. Yeah. The last fire card we run is reduced to ash. I don't think you can run this meta without reduced to ash.
No, you need something and then just kill this.
Yeah. Obviously, for some decks, it's not that useful. Like against water allies, it's not that useful. But as I said, with so much cards on water allies already, I think it's good to have some other cards that can stop other decks.
Yeah, it branches out a bit.
Yeah. Obviously, that kills off. Winari is a big threat. It kills off the Polaris.
Yeah.
In the early game, even in the mid game, if you kill off the pouch, is really good value. And if they haven't played around this, they bring out the pouch. You kill it off. They literally have to have a dead further run if they don't already have a herb on board. So yeah, I side this out a lot throughout the weekend depending on the matchup, but it is useful, and obviously it's a fire, so you discover creative shot, do 2 damage.
Yeah.
And then
those mage bonuses. Yeah.
The last 13 cards are crust. So, the other way again. 4 Pendragon. Nothing to say.
Yeah, it's Pendragon staple.
Crust is fine.
Yeah. What were they calling it on Ascent Melbourne? It was the Ghost of Glen Dragon.
Close up. Yeah. As always, stuck to Glen's hand. Draw 2 is just so much value. Especially you do want to put back Drawn Blade.
Yeah.
Then you can bring it out again to draw. So literally, it's more than just a +2 because over time it just keep plusing each turn.
And once you get a couple of those on the field, you're pretty much like,
Yeah, and they are back 3-4. Like, yeah. It's really like when you go down an influence, this is one card you build back up your influence really fast.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players go from like, they can just go DG all the way to 3 like straight away, and it's like, and then it's like Pendragon. And it's like now your influence is back to being the same as what it was before. Yeah.
And I think one thing about Pendragon is don't be afraid to use it even if you don't have Regalia to put back. Yeah. Sometimes the extra body clear off an extra ally or just apply the extra damage is put them on the clock. Like, and because you're getting so much influence from other cards anyway, like you don't necessarily have to always put back stuff. Sometimes you just want the extra body.
And again, it's crux like you can just bring it back later on. Yeah.
So you can run across that without 4 Pendragon, I feel. As I say, we run Prismatic Age and the Prismatic package, so we run Playset of Ascension.
Yep.
This card is probably the MVP of the entire weekend.
Yeah.
It's overperformed so much, and I'm glad we went for this package over the Empower package.
Yeah.
Because with the Empower as well, you can bring out Incarnate really early, you can Fireball kill really early, but it also lose to 1 in cap, because then your Lex Fireball or Lex, like you can really bring out the Incarnate, like the Majestic Spirit, like much easier. But this one is 1 cost.
Yeah.
If you play a water deck, you guarantee draw back the 1 card.
Yeah.
And you burn them for 3 damage.
So I've actually had instances where my opponents played this and they've brought out Prismatic, and in response to that one enter, I go Fracturize your sword, and then they're like, in response, we're just gonna play another one. Just pop that sword right back, and then bring it out again, and it's like,
Yeah, so
you just got 10 times more worse.
Yeah, so sometimes people say the additional cost to put back a sword is one of the downside of this card.
Yeah.
Which it is. If you get in cap, you lose 2 cards.
Yeah.
But just because of that, putting back is a cost. You can use it to dodge many things.
Yeah.
This is so much value. And even if you're not playing against wind or water, or if they don't have any wind or water, you play this card, you burn them for free.
Yeah.
And if you're on the left even counter, you literally swing them for 5. That's 8 damage of 1 card.
It's huge, yeah.
And as I say, if you have sudden steal, you're literally doing 13 damage with 2 cards.
Yeah.
And you play this for 1 cost, probably Recollection, so you get it back anyways. And sudden steal you play for free.
Yeah.
So
it just gets out of control.
Yeah. So that's why I really want to put a third sudden steal in. I think this is the insane combo. Like people don't see it coming. You just go, 2 cards combo, 13 damage from nowhere.
Yeah.
Like And
the fact that combo costs you so little in influence too. If anyone tries to negate you apart from in-cap, you know, you're sweet because you can just pay it.
Yeah. And if you have the water card, and with cross sight, you literally can add so much influence from this package. So Lex card is cross sight. It's probably my favorite cross card. Should have been 4 if we found space for it. And as I say, like I haven't played any of this card this weekend, so I think, as I say, I'll probably spot 1 for Sudden Steel, and the other ones could be the 4th cross sight.
And then put the backup charger into the material.
And I think that would be a really pure. I think it'll be much more consistent. But sometimes if you get to the late game, you may just lose if you don't have that. But I think the deck itself, you have so much firepower. Like when you get to the late game, you probably don't even need Incarnator Rain if you have.
There's a lot of cards too. Like you've got the new normal negate now, which is a null spell. You know, you put your whole hand down, drop by that, and then just like pay extra. You can't. Sorry.
So I really, I think people will say it's too greedy to put cross sight at 4, and some lists you see they only run 2. But I think you just have to run at this rate. That like the amount of time you can do. Like even if you have 2 cross sight in hand and you have nothing to do, you can just play 1 cross sight, draw a card, cross sight, add back cross sight, draw. So you literally two cross sight alone is literally +4 on his not +4, but you literally generate. You're taking 4 cards deeper just from 2 cards alone. So I think it's definitely like very value on it. And that's probably the reason we don't play Lantern in this deck, or we don't even consider Lantern because you're shutting down your own cross sight. So that's the whole main deck. I think I have talked too long, but
no, it's fine. It's fine.
You can see what you want.
But no, it's been really good having you here, and I hope to see you get more. You know, keep watching on your journey, and we'll see you at Nats because that's happening.
Nats. Should I go through the side as well very quickly?
Very quickly. We'll go through the side.
So we actually run 15 main deck cards inside that, so we have no regalia and stuff. And we feel we don't need. If you look at how the material deck I put together, like obviously sometimes some games you may have a dead Tariff Ring, some games you may have a dead safeguard, but as I say, you loop Drawn Blade so much it never get to the stage where you have nothing to materialize.
It's very well packaged
most of the time. So first 3 cards, I think 3 Mystic Purifier, you can't leave your side deck without it. You even see how popular Fantasia Destruction or Hate is in this format that
with the newest format, Fantasia is getting wild.
But obviously with the new format, you probably won't run Mystic Purifier because it's a better alternative. But before EVM release, like you just have to run this. I think this itself won me games against. I have pop Fred Tower Ring turn 1. I have pop what's the winner, the
Razorgale?
Not Razorgale turn 1, but what's that win? I started for Filter Ground. Those are really huge. Like I think popping Filter Ground will just win you the game even stronger than popping Polaris because
it slows it right down.
Because they literally it's literally GCL each turn. And this is where we got the second branch. And as I say, we were expecting Winari. We were expecting. There wasn't as much Luxon as we thought, but obviously there was some rumors in the lead up to it. And we also signed 2 Morgan as well. So 2 Blanche, 2 Morgan on that front. Morgan is huge. I think I played 2 Winari players, and I played this on them. It's so good. Like, sure they can free visit, but they can't heal. And then you can choose, like, if you need the health, you can heal 1. Otherwise, you glimpse and just deck through your deck for good cards faster. Especially in the mid to late game, you don't want to be drawing all your floating or stuff. You just want to be drawing all the crust and fire cards and stuff. So, this is. I think I'm really happy with.
Like, not being able to recover, it definitely hinders Windari.
I think even one game, I think the guy forgot and like. He played fast skill, and I was like, okay, you just lose 1 card.
Thanks for throwing away your influence.
So Morgan is outperformed as well. As I say, we Westbat allies a lot. So we actually played 2 Resolute inside with one in Ming, so we bump it up to 3 against. And it's also really strong against Nico when they try to mill you out. You just Resolute. I don't draw, but I have enough good cards in your hand to kill you anyways. It hasn't come up in the match, but in theory, like it has lots of uses, not just to protect yourself. Really glad to have 2 of that as well. As I say, we get our level up quite quickly, so we won a whole bunch of efficiency cards as well, not just sudden steal. Purging Flames is a heal strength against allies deck. Obviously you have to time it really well because you don't want to play it and then they go favorable winds or Son of the Terrain, and then you just lose the whole value. But or if they have a negate or anything. But if you time it well, it's just a game changer. And if they overcommit or just have their hands down, or if they force to defend other stuff first, then you just take them out.
Clear,
You also do 3 damage on the champion as well, so it's still a semi-burn card. At the end of the day, like if it's
gonna hit something.
If it's a late game, right? You just hit for 3 damage for free. If you are like level 8 already, like kind of thing. We initially want to put 2 disintegrate, but we just find no space for it. I still think you still need at least 1 somewhere in your deck between main and side because it's just a very versatile card. It can pop anything. It can pop Majestic Spirit. Any problematic allies. I think this one game I pop a Forsworn and he didn't see it coming. Was it? No, not you, right?
No, it wasn't me.
I think there was some game.
You might have done
it to me.
You might have actually done it to me.
I think I fireball Forsworn. This didn't create a second Forsworn, and then they just lose the whole bunch of allies.
That was definitely me.
I think even at last time I just pop some small cost ally and they don't see it coming because if sometimes against ally if they don't have the momentum they got nothing left. And it's so free once you get to level 5, 6, 7. It's almost you just cast this for free with the efficiency. Third, reduce to ash. You side this in literally just for Winari or some other decks that you know you have to get rid of problematic cards and stuff. Just fast speed is very relevant as well. And then this is the one I probably won't put it in the deck, but Glenn say, just put 1 in.
1 off, Tether and Flame.
So we put it in. That we were thinking between this or the second disintegrate. But I think having some versatility in the side deck is a good thing against some. If you get into the late game, this is literally a fireball on its own. If they pay their life for it, they could just die to whatever you put on stack after that. And if they don't, it's a negate. So it's in theory it could be really powerful. So just a one-off. Last 2 card is Floating Memories.
For the praise minute if you do need it.
So against water deck, we always side in the wind one. Against wind deck, we side in the water. And in some decks, if we feel like it, we side in both. And there's always some cards you don't need, right? So you just put it in and you just keep your. They are also generic floating, so you just keep your floating card high as well. So that's literally the entire deck. No,
that's cool. I do like how they're all foils and CSRs and
that's also why I enjoy playing this. I think this is the only deck I play that's foil. I think ever since Merlin,
I think I have a half foil deck.
You can't really get a full foil deck. It's just so much commitment. So so that's why I also want to play this in the weekend. Just play some shiny cards that I like.
No, well, thank you for joining us, and we will let you get on to your next big adventure and. What's the next trip we're doing?
I think we're Dunedin.
Dunedin.
So end of this month, Dunedin. We'll all be there.
So I'll be making a video on that with our other teammate Brandon. But we'll let you guys go and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
All right.